Now, the Victorian Liberal Party is currently scrambling to piece itself back together after a catastrophic election result. Hopeful leaders are throwing their hat in the ring to try and lead the party back into power. Former Liberal MP Tim Smith is not holding back on his criticism of the party. I'm glad to say he joins me now. Tim, great to see you as always. The Liberals took an absolute shellacking in Victoria over the weekend. We got all night. Where did they go wrong? Where did they go wrong, Tim?
Well, mate, it's lovely to see you, and thank you for having me on the program, and thank you for all your support over the last 12 months. And, mate, the honest answer is this was coming months ago. You and I talked about this, I reckon, on Outsiders, I'm going to say probably in June, about the inevitability of this catastrophe. And the simple fact is they stood for nothing. There was no discernible difference between the Andrews Labor government and the Liberal Party. In fact, the only real difference was the suburban rail link. And quite rightly, the Liberal Party said that they were not going to build that uncosted infrastructure project that's probably going to cost the state $200 billion. And we have $165 billion worth of debt at the moment. But instead of selling that in terms of good economic management, they said they'd take the money that had been set aside for that rail link and stick it into the health system. So over the last 3 to 4 months, the Liberal Party pledged to outspend the Labor Party and essentially pledged to build a new hospital once every 2 weeks. So we were talking about health infrastructure for the last 4 months, when in actual fact, after the federal election, we should have had a cost of living package ready to go, because as we know, that is the only game in town. Every poll across Australia says that cost of living is the number one issue facing voters, and the Liberal Party in Victoria didn't start talking about it until September. We then get into the campaign itself. The Liberals preference the Greens, kick out a candidate that goes to church, and frankly run a wet lettuce attempt at knocking off Daniel Andrews after the world's longest lockdown. It was embarrassing.